Oh, God. Hi. I've got my sleeping glasses on because I sleep on my left side. And so when these broke, I was like, that's terrible. And then I was like, it's amazing. It's funny how things happen like that. So this is my second time trying this because I usually just do it right from the Facebook thing, but I'm doing it through Zoom today because I'm trying new things. Let's talk about being ordinary because I think we hate this. I think this is like a triggering word. I'm not ordinary. I'm fucking special. I've been told I was special from the time I was a tiny child, how special I am. Watch out, I'm special. And then we wonder why we have anxiety and depression and lack a sense of belonging. But also, we're still very attached to this idea of being special. Do you notice there's a little bit of a disconnect there? If we turn away from that innate sense of belonging and that ordinary joy that we get to experience when we ourselves consent to be ordinary, that we realize that we are actually ordinary, our whole life lights up with that ordinary joy and ordinary ecstasy, ordinary, ordinary, ordinary. But for as long as we're like, out of my way, I'm special, then we're caught up in our own alienation. We've constructed this identity turbine that does nothing but pollute. And then we're like, why am I standing by myself in this polluted field? Where's all my connection? Where's my sense of belonging? I better medicate that. I demonize my need for replenishment and call myself lazy. I call myself lazy because I need to always be hustling to make sure my specialness is out there in the world. Let me penetrate the world with my relentless specialness relentlessly. I mean, you can do that. That's what the culture asks for you, asks of all of us, right? That's not what showing up is for me. That's not showing up. Showing up is moving forward when you're moved and being still when you're called to be still. And replenishment is not, it's not laziness. Oh man, we have demonized the feminine so completely and have colluded with it so completely, severed ourselves from our own bodies and the body of the world so completely in favor of this, like banging our heads against the wall and then wondering, where did this headache come from? Stop banging your head against the fucking wall. I hope this new light of spring is felt. That penetrates. I work with so many women who are anxious. And then I ask them, do you know what phase the moon is in? And they don't. Start there. Notice that you already belong. Notice that you're as ordinary and as astonishing as the moon. We are, all of us, specific and none of us separate. We all have our note to sing in the magnificent choir. And it's our responsibility to sing that open-throated and embodied and wholehearted. And that's not, open-throated doesn't begin at the throat. Open-throated begins at the feet and under the feet and from the center of the earth, pulled up from the center of the earth through the soles of our feet, up our legs, past our pussy, past our hara, past our heart, up through the throat and out, through the whole body, whole being. And that sound, like the wind, permeates everywhere, embraces everything. We are each of us the call. We are each of us calling in exactly what we want, exactly what belongs with us. So if we're not open, how will we ever hear the response? If we're so caught in expectations and projections, how will we even notice when the response to the call arrives? And how can we adjust our call? Is it a little out of tune? Is our call attuned to the tone of the ecosystem that we are embodied in? Or are we off key? How can we tune that up? I have there's a new episode of the podcast today because it's Tuesday, and a new I Ching reading for the week, which I did. I usually do them on Mondays, but I did that today because I took a nice, deep, dark, replenishing, receptive day yesterday. It was beautiful. So the podcast today is about where are my people? Where are my people at? How clear is your call? How receptive are you to the response? And when we're all tangled up in our identity turbine, all caught up in expectations or what we think that's going to look like, or what we prefer, rather than being able to dismantle that identity turbine and just notice what is actually right there. Ordinary joy, ordinary grief. But if we're trying to be nice and other manipulative behaviors, and yes, niceness is a manipulative behavior. It has no relationship to kindness, none. It is extractive. Nice people suck. You know that bumper sticker, mean people suck? I think actually nice people suck. At least with mean people, you know where you stand. Nice people manipulate you into continuing to give them validation. There's no kindness in that. God, people pleasers really do believe they're being good. No. Oh, it's unkind. Because it's a total denial of connection. It's a total denial of intimacy. It's a distraction. It's unkind to yourself and others. Because it's like, look over here. Look, aren't I nice? Look at what a good person I am. Meanwhile, it's like, don't look here because I'm not sure that what's in here is worth anything. So I'm going to have you look over here. Look how nice I am. Very pleasing, aren't I? Look how pleasing. Blah, 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 blah. Fear. What are you going to do? Put it on your knee and love it. Love it up like a grandma until it's ready to scamper off on its own. But you can't force it off. You can't force it out of the room. You got to bring it in, give it some tea and maybe a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Yeah, fear, you're welcome here. Like everything, it's all welcome here. And then once it's all welcomed, you realize, oh, you'd like to stay for the weekend, but you're going to go now. Right. This belongs with me and this does not. There's nothing to force, nothing to manipulate. Because if you're hooking something manipulatively with your niceness or your people pleasing or your projections, then you live in a haunted house without real connection, just a bunch of bodies bumping around and no intimacy, no juice, no life force, no zhuzh. don't live a zhuzh-free life, then you feel like a husk. Yeah. Don't be a husk. Sucks. Ordinary joy. So dynamic. Ordinariness is dynamic as moonlight, right? It's everywhere. It's in the bucket. It's in the ocean. It's in your own wet eyes. Reaches everywhere. So ordinary. If you would like some support in becoming more ordinary, sexy pitch, isn't it? Come to my website, rayhance.com. You can go to the Pocket Coaching portal. That's my lightest touch and most affordable program. It happens via WhatsApp. So it's available for support when you need it, where you need it. Ordinary. Don't be scared. Ordinary is beautiful. Ordinary is the actual world, just as it is. Spectacularly ordinary. Have a lovely day and listen to the podcast. Oh, actually, I'm going to be booking the podcast again next month. So if you would like to be a guest on the podcast and get an I Ching reading that is both intimate and public, because that's a juicy spot. Also come to the website and you can sign up for that there. There's a wait list for that. I'm going to do 10 of them in April. Have a beautiful day. It's springtime, y'all.